I think so. Officially, CDC has released me into a while, so trust them. You know what they're doing like about. All I got right now. He didn't. He didn't try again. So he'll come back to it. Yes, I would love for you to listen to it. You know, you can listen to the sound and kind of get what's wrong, but.
There she is.
I've been there many times.
Did you have it too? Oh.
I didn't see you, but I'm sure I saw someone who saw it.
Yeah.
Hey. All right.
You look pretty snappy right there.
A collared shirt, I know. It's beyond my, yeah. Yeah, I found one in the back of the closet. I didn't iron it.
That they're not at capacity. Society. Is there any challenges that come up?
We have to shut Tammy.
I probably have a conflict of interest with that because I was.
I told Lindy and Taylor that they could come down and tell me to get more expensive windows. But I don't see it, so we should just get on.
Hot tub?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
No, we don't have windows.
Margarita bar.
Margarita bar. You got room back now.
We have room.
See?
Community purpose.
When do I get to that?
Oh, okay. You know what? I was thinking about application.
It's all there.
It's all there. But yeah. It's like,
Maybe about an hour.
I think it was in here. Oh, presentation. Yeah. Yeah, I was having trouble. I know, but still.
All right, Bob. So you're not getting it. Jamie was doing well. You had COVID yet?
I like that.
I'm glad.
And I remember.
Send me the email. It was in my office, so I thought.
Wow.
Hold in your hands.
Nice.
Get my $20.
All right, so 6 o'clock. All right, I'm officially calling it. Let's have a roll call.
Tammy Bowman.
Craig Campbell.
George Harris.
Sandy Butler.
All right. So I guess we do have a quorum, and has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
No.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the previous meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good job.
We're done. It's only taken me a year.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That and a button down shirt.
And
Yeah.
But we're trying.
I wish I had worn the bow tie though. Okay, old business. I guess there's nothing to report. Nothing. Okay, so new business.
So I'm just gonna run through this and our staff analysis, and then Tammy sent over a PowerPoint presentation that she is not gonna walk us through, but you can look at it.
We have to shun her right now.
It is on your G drive. You can go through it right now if you want. So we all know the Thomas Pendleton House is in need of various repairs and remediations on the exterior and the
Oh, yeah.
interior, as far as I know. So they're seeking a COA to start on said repairs. The second page of this presentation has just a very abbreviated list of what they're looking to do. Includes repairing major cracks, deteriorated brick, repointing, removing paint from under the porch and the front porch and shutters itself. The preservation plan, did we put that on there? So their full preservation plan is available on the drive for you to go through. And that was done by our QAW. So as far as all the, repair remediation and changes that they want to make to the exterior of the building, through utilizing best practices and practical preservation, there's no threat to public health and safety at all. And they're working towards further preserving the landmark and taking it back to its original state. So if there are any questions on that, or if you want to have anything in the PowerPoint that Tammy sent over, I'm happy to answer anything, or if there's any questions for Tammy.
I have one. Not really a question about this, but I know there's some foundation problems going on. Is any of this going to be able to help that? What you're doing, your office.
Yes, so our preservation plan has interior and engineering recommendations as well. We highlighted the exterior for the COA.
Okay.
So the interior work is also prioritized high, medium, and low priorities, and my office work, which I know you're familiar with. Every time anyone walks into my office, I say, hey, watch your step. There's a slope that will catch you in it. And so you can see the stepping of insulation poking through everything. So that is interior, high priority, phase one. It'll be the first thing that we take on inside the building. But all of the things that we proposed here are exterior.
Yeah, I knew that. I just had
Yeah.
that question on that because I know.
We have a list of other interior recommendations as well that have to do with like HVAC, ventilation, and a stairwell that was, that got a variance back in the day and is that we'd like to correct.
Which I don't even know when they would do variances for interior. Oh, okay. What am I guessing? Yeah, because I couldn't think of it. Do that for. So I know when you mentioned that, I was like, variance for interior stairwell, like, I'm not gonna find this in my folders anywhere.
So will that be a separate COA you're going back for the interior?
If it's needed for the interior, I would come back, but it's not my
This
understanding.
is all,
It's
this is
all
all,
exterior.
this is
yeah.
doing everything,
Yeah.
interior and exterior,
We don't require COAs for interior
Yeah.
changes, just exterior.
even structural.
It just has to be up to our building code and the building inspector if it's something that he has to inspect per our fee schedule, permit schedule. If you were putting on a roof, he would inspect that. Or if something interior, I guess, if you're changing, but I don't think there's anything like that he would have to go through that process.
Well, I'm excited for the building. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful,
Mhm.
wonderful
Mhm.
building for Pendleton.
How long has that board been on that building?
I think it was identified in the preservation plan as probably 1970s.
That will look completely.
I think
It
it's after that.
It will look completely different. We have a drawing of it on there in 1976. It doesn't have the posts somehow. It's just the shed roof. It was magic. I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, just nailed it.
Maybe it was in progress in 1970. It'll be a wildly different one.
Yeah, I see this older black and white picture of it. And it's very, very different, but I think it was.
Did you write all this up, Tammy?
I think I mostly cut and pasted out. Other people's work.
Oh, I'm sure you did all of it. You're talented.
I brought a circulation copy of the preservation plan too, in case you like to touch as you're reading and look at the pictures up close. It's fantastic. Lots of settlement history relevant to the time it was built. And as part of the process of applying for some grants to help with the many phases of work we'll be doing on this building, I worked today on a nomination for the state historic register, which automatically goes to the National Historic Register process as well. So doing that on settlement history and on.
And I know one of the recent grants that you had kind of sent out to me, if there's anything the town, because I think if you have, what is it, a local government body on the application with you, it makes your application stronger. So just anything you do with that, just CC me on it. Whatever the town needs to do, I'm sure they'd be happy to do so.
Main Street Fountains included on that application too, you get more points.
It also says you can submit 20 letters of support, so I'll be coming back around
Oh,
for
all
those
right.
two various bodies.
Great project.
Absolutely.
Actually, I think that was about 2007, which is when we
Really? That was it?
inherited the building, some significant changes. were
Okay.
made. So those photos he's referencing show interior stairwells having been removed and some of the fireplaces exposed at that time. So you could see some structure that underlies and
That's really cool.
the shadows of the way the stairs were oriented and things are shown. We had a crew of 5 historic preservation nerds. We said crawling all over the place, and we were all really loving the
Oh, yeah.
process. They put a little robot underneath it and showed us the rafters, joists, and all of that.
Were they in pretty good shape?
No.
No.
It's ready to cave in. No.
This north side of the road, I'm really curious as to how that happened.
They couldn't find answers as to how that happened.
Yeah.
They did find photos of brick rattle from the 1960s
Mhm.
where that was put in. So they did that repair or change at that time. I wondered if there might have been like a little beehive oven or something in that spot, but the Sanborn maps don't show anything like that. So I think there probably wasn't a bump or anything that was removed. It was somehow just in need of repair.
Mhm.
Did that. One of the recommendations is to remove that horizontal window. I did not have that put into our estimate, but now, because I worried about the interior effects and whether we could afford to do the interior work,
Mhm.
but now I think we can just case the inside for now and probably have our mason do the enclosure of that little horizontal window that's not appropriate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that needs to come out.
Yeah.
Rachel might have stayed up.
I was
most of-
up till 1 reading it and we got it delivered.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is good reading for tonight. The heart that you guys found, that was kind of cool.
Have you seen the ads marks on that one? Like hip root, the ads marks on that old.
Yes.
can.
Just a little bit.
So are there any questions on, as far as the COA goes, any of the remediation or repairs that they would like to do to get the COA? Or with the COA? I'm good.
I'm good too, actually.
Yes, or she could just abstain from the vote.
All right. Recommendations?
I mean, yeah, we, planning department doesn't see, kind of just what I said earlier.
Right.
There's no issues that we see coming from any of the repairs or remediation stated.
All right, so do we have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the COA as written.
I will second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Any opposed?
Just let the record do it.
Any abstaining? Yes,
Yes, I would say.
we were, yes.
We have not had any COAs approved in-house since our last meeting. We haven't had anything, signs or anything like that, so. Nothing new there yet. And as far as the depot shops, do you have an update from Dan Maddox?
Yeah, they're working on finalizing the bump out there, the entryways, the two entryways. After further review, they may, yes, that kind of express, and he said he'll keep us informed, but they may have to bump it out a couple of feet, which would be right in line with the curb versus the current bump out towards entry. He will be fine with that with the easement. There is a sanitary sewer easement that is between the front line of the first parking lot in the middle of the drive that goes between the parking lot and the building itself. So he's going to get in contact with Tim McCurdy. I think he's already made contact to find out if it's an abandoned sewer easement or if it's still active. So just to find out how close he can. So we've asked him to get a formal letter from Tim McCurdy if he does end up extending beyond that.
And everything's just kind of shifting a few feet
Yes.
forward.
Mhm.
I think he can, if that sanitary sewer isn't abandoned, he can probably, all he would put on it is sidewalk and parking anyway. So, and the building wouldn't touch it, so if it's not abandoned, it's probably fine anyway.
He said that he would fight back again today. He said he'll keep us abreast on it. Come back if there is any change.
That's all we've got.
Is there any update on the abandoned building?
Yeah,
Or condemned building?
last week, we got the repair report from RC Engineering. So it has been sent to the building owner and he can come in and discuss anything with us as he sees fit. The engineer kind of formulated those plans where you could just hand them to an experienced contractor and they would know exactly what to do with it. So it's a really great document. And it's got all the repairs that need done to make it structurally sound. So once those are taken care of, then we'll move on to fire code remediation. And then after that, if those are met, we'll remove the condemnation from the bill.
Any timeline on that, on the whole construction? fix up?
Well, we have BZA this month, so now that we have the report in hand, they can make a decision on how long they'd like to give the property owner to remediate the repairs. I don't know how long they'll choose, might be 6 months, might be a year, I'm not really sure, but that would kind of be the deadline. And then after that, the fees for the property owner would start accruing on a daily basis.
Was there any word on the structures on the back? I mean, how many of those?
The property owner does not want to remove those, so he was given remediation drawings for them. They are extensive, but that's if that's what the property owner chose to do, then they can do that. If they decide don't want to do that and want to demo it, that's fine too. They'll just have to keep us informed. And should a demolition take place, we'll just have to make sure that they check with the engineer that did the report to make sure there aren't any walls holding anything else up so they can do a proper demolition that won't negatively affect anything else around the area.
Be good.
It's Marcy's report on the website.
Is that considered a public document? It might be after BZA, after BZA. Right. Yeah, so after the BZA meeting, that'll be available.
Thank you.
No problem.
So, any comments or questions from anybody? We have-
Are you?
I don't think we.
Okay, we'll sign on.
Tammy,
You're not throwing tomatoes.
Oh, Tammy has a family. That's okay. And we shunned her. It's bad. All right, so if there's nothing further, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to, go, great.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's go.
Aye.
You forgot. You didn't say if.
I didn't say, I think
opposed.
everybody wants to go home, okay?
Does anyone ever oppose
But nobody's
it?
opposed to ending the meeting.
You are getting a lot better.
Never good enough for him. I know, man.
That's how